Okay, start.
Hi everyone, this is Sirisha, currently pursuing third year BTech at Lendi Institute of Engineering and Technology. As a part of my experiment, I was doing a case study for a job seeker. So, bro, can you please explain about yourself? Like, introduce.
Okay. Okay. So my name is Vivek Burman, and I'm a software engineer at AxleQ. So I work in front end primarily as well as in back end. So and I have like 3.5 years of experience uh, overall.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. So, as we are entering into the third year, we are at the state of confused minds. So, like, how to face an interview, a perfect interview. So, how, which technologies we should learn, what tips we should follow, like, so could you please suggest me how to face an interview?
Sure. So an interview is always typically like 3 rounds. One is like the clearance round. Clearance round is basically an online test of your TSA, right? Your data structure and algorithm. So
Yes.
you must get that cleared out, right? So you need to have that. So that is where you get your in college, like in second year or third year, you get your data structures and algorithm papers, right? So you need to get that one good, and that's like the basic one. You need to crack that. So after you do that, then you get your another round, which is like a face-to-face interview.
Yes.
In face-to-face interview, it could be anything. It could be a mix of DSAs and behavioral questions as well. So it could be like they will ask a bit more difficult of DSA, where they will request you that please explain the solution. So don't just write it, just the more emphasis is on that you explain the solution. You make the interviewer understand like how did you reach there, the answer that you have came out, and how did you reach it. They might ask you to tweak the answer if they are not satisfied with it, and you have to keep on like improving the solution. So that goes like one of the face-to-face interview. There's one more there could be, which is like where they will ask you behavioral questions, which is more like with the HR round, which we see, right? So that's where like they will see you like how good you are as a team member. Like as an individual contributor, you are good because you have passed all the marks. But can you stay with other people? Can you stay in an ecosystem? Can you maintain a healthy relationship with other team members? Help them get your task done and all of that. I think basically three of this gets you done. And if you say like what technologies you need to learn, it's basically
Bro, any issue?
there was a
Oh, I think there is a poor connection. Yes.
I think now it's gonna be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. So as I was saying, right, like from the project side, right, where you need to showcase that what are the tech stacks that you know, right? So one of the primary one that you must know is like front end,
Yes.
right? And in front end, you can say that you must be aware of the basic language of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. And on top, you need to know at least one framework. So mostly people, we all use right now React. So React is a good to have one. It gets you easy access to a new market. And if you want to do a backend, right? So for backend, it's mostly still Java. So you need to have one project which covers up both the cases. You have a good front end where you can showcase your React part, and it must have good enough information where you show your Java and database part as well. So I think, yeah, that overall completes a whole resume and a whole interview process and whole clearance.
So I think our soft skills is a main like playing a key role. So how do you suggest that? Like improving our communication skills is like better to achieve our interview.
Yeah, you need your communication skills in the sense, like as I said, right? So when the second interview comes up, when the face-to-face interview comes up, you are mostly given a whiteboard. It's no more that you are given a laptop. You're given a pen and a whiteboard, and you have to draw.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to convey the message, you're not able to convey the information that is inside your head to the interviewer, he won't click it. And if it doesn't click to him, he might not select you, because for him is that you as a team member must be able to explain to him, like as a manager, like what are your daily tasks, how are you improving, are there any issues that you want to discuss. So for him to become your manager, right, you have to be good enough in communication where you are able to give enough information to him. And if it's not possible, then it will start hindering the process. So that's where I think the communication makes the big difference.
Yes. So could you share any experience that you have faced in your interview?
So there were a couple of interviews, if I remember one. So one of the face-to-face interviews during this few times back was like where I was being asked to solve a problem. It was more of designing something, like designing a complete flow, and it was mostly like I had to explain to him. So it was like complete whiteboarding. There was no code involved. We didn't write even a single line of code, but it was to explain him how the architecture would work, what are the gotchas that the architecture have, what are the bottlenecks that it could have, where are the times where it will fail, right? And where are the times that you think like if there is heavy traffic, it will start congesting there. So like overall, it's to explain like how would you design a service. When I say a service, it's like, let's say, how would you design, what do I say? Let's say, how would you design the Netflix website? Let's say if there is some new series that came out in Netflix, right? So people would be like opening it in the first day, like first day, first release, we want to see it first, right? So it will be heavily, it will be heavy traffic in there. So you might see that the Netflix server goes down. Again, it's a bit of more technical round, but it shows that you must have a clear understanding of what you are conveying, what the problem statement is, what the business surrounding it is. So I think that is one, like the one where I had to do the communication up, where I had to clearly explain to him like how are the things going.
So bro, can you please give me a roadmap like how to achieve my interview?
Yeah, so as I said, right, for the interview, the first part is to get the DSA. Without DSA, you won't be able to allow to go or have anyone's face-to-face interview. So for DSA, you must practice enough problems from different domains. Let's say you must solve enough array and string problems. You must solve array dynamic programming, recursion problems, right? Stack pointer problems. So all of this of problems you can find from, I think one of the best one in the game is like Lead Code. So it gives you a lot of open-ended questions. You can find a lot of solutions and a lot of YouTube tutorials where they clearly explain you like how to achieve that problem, right? So once you are okay with, or once you have a good grasp of what the data structure algorithm is, right, then only you can think of cracking an interview the next, because the project never has depth. Because for a project to have a depth where you can show a real expertise, the project needs to be like at least 1.5 years long. So that's not achievable So what people do is that they focus on DSA, and then they showcase their projects where they show it in a broad way that, hey, I know this, I know this, I know this, and I know that as well. But the depth of it is something that is missing. So for the depth part, you have to be good at DSA. So where that they test the depth of you, and in the project level, they show they basically see that how how uh, how do I say how quick are you in understanding something, right? Can you make a project quickly? Can you make a project within 6 months? Given a new language, given a new programming language, given a new coding style, right? Given a new set of rules that, hey, you have to code like this, here, code like that, right? And get it done. Like it should not have any issues. The project should be shippable, right? And that's like the two. So you solve problems from your lead code, you get a good understanding of depth of your DSA, and you get one project where you can showcase the diversity, the quick to learn thing, right? You have to showcase that, hey, I am quick to learn, right? So I think, yeah, that completes them.
So, like in front of the interviewer, like how do we act? Like our hand gestures, like our body actions. So, can you give me like how should we behave? Like in front of him, like not smiling at him, like
So there is nothing wrong at smiling at anyone. So it's more of keeping a healthy environment. So for one of the things, like if you are solving a problem, let's say someone gives you a DSA problem, right? Let's say someone gives you, like, can you reverse a linked list? Basic problem, right? You shouldn't be scratching your head. So you shouldn't have a tense state, right, in your mind. Like you should not have a tense face, right, where you look like it's a problem of a lifetime that you're seeing for the first day. You don't have any basics to even figure out, like, how do I solve this problem? So the very first thing I would say is, as soon as you get a DSA problem, let's say, right, or a design problem, what you do is, like, within hardly 30 seconds of clarification of question, like you clearly clarify him what is the question, you start communicating with,
okay,
right? You explain to him time by time that, hey, I'm thinking this way, and I believe that this way would lead me to an answer like this, okay, which might have a time complexity of, let's say, O of n square, right? It's fine. You must have a conversation with the interview, right? The idea is to make it engaging enough. It's not that someone has given you a paper, you write all the answers and you submit the paper back. It's more of a conversation rather than just a pass and fail, right? So to have that, again, like I said, you start having conversations with him, right? You speak out your thoughts loud, like, hey, I'm thinking this, these are the next steps, these are the next steps, and this is how I think it will solve the problem. It might be a slow solution, it's fine, but you must have conversation with him, right? So that's one. And you must also be, how do I say, any point of time you feel like you need a clarification, right? It could be that the solution you went ambiguous or in a different route. The reason being you missed one point of the problem, right? The problem had a special case that was mentioned, but you missed it. So those kind of things are not good. It's like it shows that you didn't listen properly, right? So listen to it properly. Doubles confirm the problem statement by repeating it again, right? Like repeating it again, not line by line, but showing him the things like, okay, this is what you want, this is how you want, and these are the conditions that you're given me. Yeah, he says a yes or a no, and how the conversation goes on. And depending on that, you start drawing it out, right? You draw it out, you tell him the solution, and you actively get feedback from. It's not like if the problem is gonna take, let's say, 15 minutes to solve, you are mute for 15 minutes and suddenly you say done. It shouldn't be like that. You must have an engaging conversation with him over that period of 15 minutes.
yes, surely. So I really thankful to you, brother. So it's really very pleasure to meet you. Like your valuable words are very very helpful to us. Thank you, bro.
Sure, sure. Bye.
Okay, bye.